As an influencer, as a person who cares for my Jamaican people, and I'm talking about the well-thinking Jamaicans now, not the ones who are influenced by $5,000, $200, a box of KFC, a flipping box of KFC from them Prime Minister. Not those Jamaicans. I'm talking about the Jamaicans them who knows that there's better out there, who would have seen better governance, would have seen greener pastures, who got a chance to travel outside of the country, or if you didn't travel but you saw it on television, that by the click of a phone call, ambulance, police and fire units show up at your house for search and rescue, or to simply just offer aid. And that's people's tax money. That's what it is used for. If I were to encourage Jamaicans who doesn't get these services, who gets up every single day and hear of politicians who steals the country's money, misappropriate the country's money, have no receipts for the country's money, give the country ballpark figures, not figures that comes right down to the very cent that they paid for it, and accurate stuff. It's always months and years of investigation into a simple purchase of something for the country. And nobody in this country gets up and arrest these politicians. If I were to mobilize Jamaicans, which I can do, believe me, I can. I have a lot of Jamaicans in my inbox that are ready. They're ready for war. They're ready for war, like real war. They're ready to light fire. They're ready to do whatever they have to do, hurt whoever they have to hurt in order for their country to be saved. And all they're waiting for is for me to blow the whistle. I haven't blown that whistle. You know why? On the contrary, some of you think that I am that violent person when I talk and I am angry. And y'all don't understand that I've been talking long enough for persons to just understand that at some point we stop talking. At some point, I can't tell the masses to hold back. At some point, because people are hurting. People are hungry. I was at the Western Union today in Maypen. And when I was finished doing my business, there was an elderly lady who sat there with her elderly husband. And she said, "Marvin." And I said, "Yeah, mommy. Where go on?" And she just extended her hand for me to shake her hand. I shook her hand. And she said, "Boy, I watch you all the time." She said, "You know, I beg, you know." I said, "Really?" And I'm sure she's going to see this video. She said, "Yeah, man." Right, I was right in there. There are a number of people there who saw me conversing with her. I said, "What do you?" She said, "Boy, I'm sick. And go to the hospital and them refer me to one place. If you go do some tests. And the test them cost 100,000. Me not have them the money them, my son. Me not have it." My heart leapt. I knew where the conversation was going. She didn't have to explain herself. The moment she tell me, say, she go to the hospital and them tell her to go do some tests, I know for a fact that the government of this country have used the country's money, used the country's tax exemption status, case in point UWI, to bringing the required machines that needs to be at the hospital, then bring it in for them, friend them, and then send the citizens over to their friends to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for tests. Yeah, for tests. Tests that should have been done at the hospital for free, because we said that we're offering free healthcare. The healthcare is free, but the machines are not there to do the proper diagnostics. Yeah? And to do the proper diagnosis. So we can't do nothing. Yeah? Can't do nothing because the machines were brought into the country, tax exempted, courtesy of government officials, and put in private facilities to facilitate Jamaicans like Mama, who I met today at Western Union, who sat there begging. We have allowed our Jamaican senior citizens who have toiled, who have labored for decades in this country to be begging just for a simple checkup, and your friends at the cost of hardworking Jamaicans, them go home with their pockets full of money that our senior citizens had to beg, friggin' beg. And where are politicians' children and friends? They're overseas, at overseas hospitals, overseas universities, homeschooled. They can buy apartments. Their sons and daughters can own multi-million-dollar apartments. True. Never hungry. Never in need. Jamaica, we're not hungry enough. I cannot mobilize for burn down buildings and hunt down politicians in this country. The people up by Mount Russell, we drive off of Mount Russell into Uwerton. The people up there, I want you to comment in the section of how often cars slide on the road there. You know why the cars them slide up there? You know why the cars them slide up there, so? Because the politicians who got the money to do the job up there, they give the man them to build the road, them use off the money, and the man them could have only buy the cheap material. The cheap road material, because someone will say asphalt road and think that all of them are the same. No. Not the same. Politicians rob the country, take your country money, and the contractors don't have a choice but to buy where the money can buy. After they take out them pay out of it. Buy what the money can buy. And what the money can buy is mediocre. Real mediocre. Yeah? Mediocre. Mediocre stuff. The worst. The worst. And then Jamaicans drive on it thinking it's a nice road. And then cars slide. Them cars slide off of it. And mash up. Ask the people up on Mount Russell. If I lie, I want the Mount Russell people into Uwerton to tell me, say, no, son, I can't slide off on the Mount Russell. I lie, you tell. You can type it in the chat for me, please. Yeah? But I got my information directly from the spouse of a particular contractor that's here who fixes roads. You hear me tell you? There's more to the story. The same politicians then come to the contractors. If they get $8 or $10 million to do the road, the politicians will take 5 out of the 10 million and give the contractor the other 5. And you're telling me that we should just sit here and watch these politicians grow old and get the best healthcare in this country? Look what is happening with the financial system. The United Nations now put out an article today that there's going to be a grave financial crash and crisis. I told you. And look where Andrew do.